So phase one of tackling is what we call the clamp. Okay, phase two, now we're going to get into the actual hit-up progression. How we explode with our hips and our chest, how we roll over our front foot on contact, and how we throw violent uppercuts. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is a one-knee chest pop on air. Okay, a one-knee chest pop on air. So again, we can do this in circuits, break our players up. We can be working on the clamp in one station. We can be working on the chest pop, the one knee hit and hold, etc. on air in another station. Or we can again do this in mass, which is usually what we like to do. What you're going to see with our teaching progressions, everything that we teach our kids, we can do in shorts and t-shirts, we can do in half pads, we can do with shields, we can do full speed against each other. Our primary objective in the off season from January to about March is to work generic tackling with our players in shorts and t-shirts. And then, as we start to progress through the season, we work more of the specialized game situation type drills, whether I'm inside out, outside in, have to alley tempo, open field tackle, roll tackle, etc. So here what you're seeing, the objective would be to be able to teach this stuff in the off season to our players so that they really have this technique down by the time that we hit spring practice. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Again, we're going to tell our players to stagger either foot forward. Here our players have their left foot up. They've got their right knee down. You're going to put your right knee, you're going to line up your knee with your heel. Very important. You're going to put your chest on your quads. Okay? When we teach tackling, we teach, if we can, we want to come in with our eyes at ball level. And we're going to teach some different pre-contact stances. This is an example of a flat back stance on a profile tackle. So we want to put our chest on our quads. We've got to have our eyes up. We're going to tell them to put their hands, go ahead and clasp their hands together and put it on the small of their back. When we say set, that's the position they're going to be in. When we say hit, you're going to roll over the front toe. You're going to roll over the front toe. You stay on your back knee. The back knee does not come off the ground. I'm looking for full extension here. We want to pop your hips. We want to pop the chest. We want to get our eyes for the sky. And we're going to hold it. We always want our players to exaggerate their technique in any drill that we do. Set. They'll reload. Hit. Roll over the front toe. Pop the hips. Pop the chest. Again, the focus here is rolling over the front toe, exploding with the hips, exploding with the chest, getting our eyes for the sky. And again, this is why we talk to our kids about the power clean being such an important lift in football, because this is going to help me be a better tackler. That's where our power comes from. A little bit slow there. He's rolling over his front toe. He's popping his hips. He's popping his chest. I'd like a little bit more explosion if we could get it. Maybe get his eyes up slightly more for the sky. When we tackle, we always talk about tackling with the front part of the shoulder or the front part of the chest, never with the head or the face. Roll over the front toe. You're going to want to explode with the hips and the chest. Set, hit, they'll hold it, set, hit, they'll hold it, set, hit. On set, they reload. Next, we're going to add the uppercuts. Okay, we want violent uppercuts. Take a look at the hands here. The hands are in what we call the holster area. Okay, so we want to drive our elbows up. We want to drive our elbows up and back. We want our hands right next to our hips. We want our thumbs down and our fingers straight. We do not rest our hands on our hips. We want to be able to fire our uppercuts here in a second. We still have the flat back stance. I've got my chest on my quads. I've got my eyes up. I've got my hands in the holsters. Now on hit, as I roll over the front toe and I pop my hips and I pop my chest, now I want a violent uppercut. Okay, we talk to our kids. The quicker my uppercuts come, the quicker my hips are going to follow. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're maximizing our explosion on the tackle. So this is one knee hit and hold on air. Set, we hit, he fires, he holds, set, we'll reload, we hit, set, the hit, and again, we're going to end up with our front, rolling over our front toe. We're not coming off the back knee. I've got my hips and my chest all the way through. Great hip extension. I'm staring at my hands. I want my elbows as tight together as they can be. Now we switch to stagger the feet. Put the right foot forward, the left knee back. Roll over that front toe, pop the hips, pop the chest. Violent uppercuts. Violent uppercuts. Again, these guys demonstrating are some former players of mine from a couple of years ago. Appreciate their help coming out making the tape. Nice job rolling over the front toe, exploding with the hips, exploding with the chest. Could do a better job there of staring at his hands. Make sure you're staring at your hands. You don't want to stare at your elbows, you want to stare at your hands. You want your eyes for the sky. Roll over the front toe, pop your hips, pop your chest, violent uppercut. You don't want to be soft. Make sure our hands are not resting on our hips. A little bit slow there. Okay, next. This is one knee hit and hold versus a stand-up dummy. So now we're just going to have the scout put his knee in the back part of the bag. Okay, but again, tell the scouts what we have our players do when they come up is they kind of fit in the post hit-up position like I already uppercut. Okay, because I don't want to hit this guy's knee as I do throw my uppercuts. Okay, so he's got to position himself to make sure that my thumbs or whatever don't hit him in the knee. Okay, so now we want violent uppercuts and we're going to hold it. Again, the back knee is going to stay on the ground. We're looking to get full hip extension. We want my hips, my chest on the bag. Key, you want your pinkies together behind the bag. Get your chin up, get your eyes up. What a common mistake our kids make is they do what's called short arm it, where they stop with their hands here on the edge of the bag. Well, that's not going to allow me to entangle the guy as much, and now I don't have as much elbow squeeze. Now I'm hoping to grip him more with my hands, which is not what we want. He can spin out of that. Also, when we line up, so this is one knee hit and hold. We can do this 2 or 3 times. Okay, take a look at where we are in terms of positioning. We tell our players, we want your cage about 1 inch off the bag. Okay, and here's why we do that. We don't try to tackle somebody until we can step on his feet or smell his breath. Okay, we're going to run through you. We are not going to dive and lunge for you. So I'm not going to try and tackle you until I can step on your feet or smell your breath. So we want to place, if we have helmets on, our cage 1 inch from the bag. If we don't have helmets on, we tell them to put their nose 1 inch from the bag. Okay, again, we're not going to dive and lunge for you. We're going to keep our feet and we're going to run right through you if we can. Violent uppercuts, pop the hips, pop the chest. Make sure you stay in the clamp. See, he's short arming it there. You want your pinkies together behind the bag. Get your hands off your hips here. It's a little bit better. He's got his right knee up, his left knee down, rolls over his front toe. That's a better fit there at the end. Okay, next is the chest pop. Okay, this is something I think that we do that's outstanding that a lot of people don't do in their progression, and they should. Okay, here we're focusing on now the lower half of the body, rolling over the front toe, exploding with my hips and my chest, driving my front knee up and past the ball carrier outside the frame of his body. But now I have no uppercuts. So now I'm working just hitting basically with the stub of the body. I'm practicing getting entangled on the guy. Okay. If you have one of those big Berthas that kind of hang on the pulleys, that's a good time to work the chest pop as well with no hands. So here I'm just going to line up. Again, I'm going to have my cage about 1 inch off the bag. I'm going to flat back stance with my chest on my quads. On hit, roll over the front toe. I'm going to drive my knee up. Don't think about so much driving it past him. Drive it up to his hip. Okay, get my hips up, get my chest up, get my eyes up, and stop. So this is just a one-legged chest pop. We're not double timing the knees. We're not walking. We're just working the kick through and the chest pop. My nose is 1 inch off the bag. Pop your hips, pop your chest. You want to explode. Teaching our kids the ABCs of tackling and that type of progression. Now in mass, okay, again, or we can do it in lines. Let's say we have 100 guys out there. We could have 10 lines of 10 guys going at once. Now we're going to start to put it all together. Okay, on air, we're going to roll over the front toe. We're going to pop our hips. We're going to pop our chest. We're going to uppercut. We're going to clamp our elbows and double time our knees. And we're going for 10 yards. We don't go through you, or excuse me, we don't go to you. We're always going through you. Okay, here we're doing it on a walk. Okay, so I'm going to uppercut. I'm going to clamp. I'm going to walk with my knees high and wide. As you do this, stare at their elbows. Make sure their elbows don't come apart. You want to start with the flat back stance with your chest on your quads. Chest on my quads, I don't want to see your numbers there. Nice uppercuts, strike the balls of the feet, keep your elbows together. Pinkies together, elbows together. Now we're going to double times. Now we're going full speed. So go, make sure they're clamping the elbows. When we do this, it's not how quickly I can get 10 yards. It's how many steps I can get up and down in 10 yards. And that's what our kids also need to focus on. So you want to focus on the elbow squeeze, and you want to focus on how many steps can I get up and down in 10 yards. We've got to accelerate our feet on contact. We know that great ball carriers are going to accelerate their feet on contact. We've got to do the same. A little bit high there in his pre-hit up stance with a flat back stance. He should have his chest on his quads. So from there, we're going to go through some different types of tackles that can be made. But at this point, what are some things that we can do? Well, we can line up shield holders, and we can now do the full speed hit up, double time our knees, and run the ball carrier into the porta pits. Okay? We can do it versus cylinder bags, where we have a scout hold a cylinder bag, and now I'm in a flat back pre-hit up stance, and now I can hit up and double time my knees and run the cylinder bag. Okay, and then obviously we can do that type of form tackling versus the one-man popsicle sleds. So if you have that type of apparatus, those are some things that you can do as well once you start to install the progression. Okay, take a look here at the right defensive tackle. He's going to do a nice job of getting his hips through, getting his chest through, keeping his feet moving on contact. Right there, you see his eyes for the sky. You can see him fully entangled on the ball carrier. He's got his hands behind the ball carrier. He's got his eyes for the sky. He's got his hips and his chest in the ball carrier. He's got a nice base here with his knees outside the frame of the ball carrier. We'd like him just to keep moving his feet on contact, which he will re-accelerate here again in a second. Next, we're taking a look at the left tackle linebacker, the left outside linebacker. He's going to do a nice job of alley tempo, staying inside out, which we'll talk about later in the film. He works to get his eyes at ball level here on what's called a profile tackle. He gets his hips through, he gets his chest through, he gets his eyes for the sky, runs his feet on contact, and he stays in the clamp. Okay, nice hit up again here by the right tackle linebacker. Again, we saw him earlier in the film. This is a different cut. He's going to do a nice job of getting his hips through, his chest through, his eyes for the sky. You can see him right here with his hips and his chest all the way on the tackler and his eyes up as he accelerates his feet on contact. He keeps lifting his chest and his eyes. If you take a look at him throughout the entire tackle, he continues to lift his chest and his eyes all the way through. Stay in the clamp all the way to the ground. Okay, not good here by the first kid. You can see he drops his head. Okay, again, we don't ever want to hit with the top of the shoulder. Okay, that's going to become an arm tackle because that's going to force us to parachute our arms. If we drop our head, our arms come out, which is not what we want. But the second and third guys coming in do a nice job. Get their hips through, get their chest through, stay in the clamp, double time their knees. Same kid here does a better job there. So he doesn't drop his head, wants to bend his knees a little bit more. He stays in the clamp, he gets his hips through, he gets his chest through. Okay, so again, we're looking at the right safety here. Nice job with the uppercuts, nice job staying in the clamp. You're going to see a nice hit up here. The coverage is poor, but he does a great job of exploding with his hips and his chest. This is our one knee hit and hold drill. Okay, so as you see the left corner driving in on the top shoulder of this receiver, when we get to talk about tackling pass receivers in the open field tackling tape, okay, if we're on time, we treat it like profile. So we run right through them. You'll see here, does a great job right there getting his hips through, getting his chest through. So even though he's late, right there, we talk about playing for the takeaway every play of the game with our uppercuts. Okay, so the ball carrier can only have the ball under either arm or on his chest. Well, we're putting our chest on him there. We always want to uppercut through his armpits. He gets his eyes up. He gets his hips and his chest through. He's got a great base. So even though the coverage wasn't great, the tackle was nice. Okay, and you'll see the ball fly in the air here, and we're fortunate enough to get an interception. All because of the nice form on the tackle. Okay, nice hit up here. Okay, both linebackers So I should be inside out, I should be outside in, so we're going to get a vice on this guy. Okay, as they uppercut, you can take a look at this guy again. He's working to get his hips and his chest on the ball carrier, which allows him to get his eyes for the sky. We don't ever want to drop our head. We don't ever want to hit with the face or with the cage. This one's a little bit tough to see. Again, the right outside linebacker, you're going to see a nice job here, getting his hips through, getting his chest through, staying in the clamp. Same thing here, profile tackle. Okay, we want to limit the yards after the catch. So we're just driving on the hitch. We teach our defensive backs, if I'm on time against the passing game, treat it like profile, run right through them. We'll talk about profile here in a minute. So again, even though we're tackling pass receivers, does a great job grabbing cloth high, clamping his elbows, getting his hips and his chest on the receiver. Nice job of arching the chest, getting fully entangled. Okay, again, better job here of accelerating his feet on contact. If you take a look at the left safety, he should be inside out, alley tempo the ball. He wants to stay inside out. Keep his shoulders square. Good uppercuts. Nice job getting his hips through. Don't leave the butt back. Okay, we'll take a look at one more here. Take a look at the left outside linebacker. Watch him here as he gets a final lift. There. Okay? That's what we're always talking about. Forklift him. Get your hips on him. Get your chest on him. Get your eyes for the sky. There. Okay, to us, that's the perfect form tackle. Get my hips through, get my chest through, get my eyes for the sky. And again, like anything else, our teaching progressions are such that you have to see these things happen in the game. Okay, if they're not happening in the game, then we've got to go back and evaluate our drills and ask ourselves why it is that they aren't happening for us.